My client came in with completely virgin hair and wanted to go as close to a silvery white as possible. She also wanted to chop a few inches since her hair had gotten so long over quarantine, so before starting the color I got rid of some excess length. I went in and did a full head of back-to-back slices, painting upwards, leaving about ½ an inch on the scalp so that I can easily apply a shadow root. When I do a double process, the most important thing I focus on is saturation. When I remove the foils, you never see any dark spots because I make sure the lightener is applied evenly. I let each section process in 10-minute intervals, checking until it's lifted enough to match the inside of a banana peel. I shadowed her root with 789 from Color Touch and glossed her hair with 10 SP from Guy 10. She looked so beautiful with her.
Forgot to take a before video. You can kind of get the picture of what my client came in with. She had about 2 inches of regrowth of her natural level 7 root, and she had this faded purple that she had done herself on the ends. First thing I did was keep the lightener about 1/8 of an inch away from the scalp, and I lightened that bottom half. Then, once that was ready, I ran the lightener onto the roots and applied color remover on the ends. The color remover is so satisfying because you could see it removing that color right away. I then mixed up the beautiful colors that we were going to be using for her purple ombre, and we were so in love with the color scheme when it was finally done. I used a little bit of magenta and a little bit of periwinkle blue mixed with a lot of diluter to create the color we were going to be using on the ends. I then used Pravana Violet for her roots, diluted with a little bit of conditioner just so that it wouldn't be too dark in comparison to the ends. Whenever I'm doing vivid colors, I like to make sure that the hair is almost 100% dry before applying the colors so that the saturation could be the most even. The thinner the section, the more guaranteed you are to have perfect, even application from roots to ends. It had been since before the pandemic that we were able to touch up her hair, so it was so exciting to see her do her hair and make it gorgeous and even and to reach her goals again. It makes me so happy to make my clients happy and to see them glow. My client whose hair I've been doing for about a year now. Usually we do fun colors, but she recently got married, so we had to do a natural color for her wedding. Now that the wedding is over, she came into my chair and told me that I could do whatever I wanted. I started by bringing back up the balayage closer to her root and leaving the hairs out in between, where I was going to be applying lightener onto the ends to remove that natural pigment after. Since I've been doing her hair consecutively, I knew that since we only used a semi-permanent color, which was Color Touch, instead of using a permanent color to create the natural effect we just had, it would be easier to remove than if we were to have used a permanent color. She was just about to be ready, so I mixed up the colors so we could get super excited, ran the lightener over the remaining ends, and then applied her color. I wanted to show you guys how incredible it looked straight and how shiny and healthy her hair looked before the styling. Then as you see here, as I open up the curls, you could really see all that dimension. We were so obsessed with the dimension and the contrast between all of these colors. Her hair looked so healthy, so full, and these colors were all so bright and vivid on their own. I also love to incorporate my clients' natural root when they're doing a vivid color because they don't need to be coming into the salon all the time to upkeep it, and the grow out transformation was so fun from beginning to end, and my client came in knowing exactly what she wanted to do. She sat in my chair and immediately told me that she wanted a pink mullet, and I was so excited to get this project started. The first thing I did was remove the hair from the side so that we wouldn't waste any product on the areas that were going to be shaved anyway. I then applied foils all over the head, starting from about 1/2 an inch away from the root using 20 volume. I always like to use foils for my double process because it creates heat and helps the hair lift more evenly. After removing those foils, I then applied 20 volume lightener onto her roots for only about 20 minutes, and it was an absolutely perfect lift. Once that was ready to be rinsed, we removed everything at the sink, shampooed, and then we started cutting. After the initial cut, we mixed up neon pink and applied it all over the hair. Once we air dried the hair, I then added a little bit more texture into the cut, and we were absolutely obsessed with the outcome. The pink was so vibrant and so even, and it really was everything that we wanted to see in the color. I also absolutely love a shapely haircut like a mullet or a shag because it's so versatile and you're really able to do so many different styles when you have a haircut like this. The client came in wanting to take her grown out baby light balayage and turn it into something still kind of natural but more towards the vivid side of the spectrum. I mixed up a super dark purple and got started on applying her color. Inside the foils, I mixed up a low light which matches her natural base. I alternated between highlights and lowlights, using the purple as my highlight and her natural color as my low light. Instead of just putting purple over the balayage she already had, we added these lowlights in between so that when the color fades out, she'll have a more natural dimensional looking balayage. We were so in love with the outcome. The color came out absolutely gorgeous, the dimension was perfect, and her hair looked so healthy and shiny. This process was so fun because we were able to use products that were only going to enhance the health of her hair. Nothing was going to damage it. Regardless of the process, I always recommend the most healthy